HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance. Hello, and welcome to HCAM News. Tom Nappy at the anchor desk to keep you up to date with what's happening in Hopkinton. On this edition of HCAM News, we have scenes from the Hopkinton Middle School 5K, as well as the Veterans Day ceremony in Hopkinton, and the South Asian Circle of Hopkinton hosted their annual Diwali Gala, plus Matt Clark has our HCAM Insider. But first, here are some happenings in town you should know about. The Select Board confirmed the town manager's appointment for a treasurer.
I am respectfully requesting the board affirm the town manager's appointment of Christopher Heymans as the town's next treasurer collector. Yeah, Chris is joining the town with 5.5 years experience, having worked for BNY Mellon as the vice president, lead manager, and partnership accounting, senior supervisor. He also worked 1.5 years with Kaufman Rosen Fund Services, Citigroup Hedge Fund Services for 4 years, and he was at State Street for 3 years. He has a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. When we spoke to his references, a previous supervisor noted Chris' particular strength in developing internal controls and documenting business practices. I think, as you have heard, we are going full steam ahead in developing SOPs for everything that we do here at Town Hall.
Yeah, I have one question. Your resume is outstanding, and being a VP in the private sector and all of that sort of thing, my question is, why do you want to join municipal government?
It's a shift in my career I've been looking to take for a while. I've been pondering where I want to go from where I was, and I've done a lot of time in the corporate world. But I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to make a contribution at the end of the day and feel really good about what I do day in and day out.
Fair enough.
Well, that was actually very similar to what I was going to ask, is why the shift from private to public sector. I'm Irfan, by the way. As a UMass grad, I'm particularly happy to see you.
Okay, he's done.
It's a great community. I think you'll be really happy here.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. So, Chris, one question for you. You ever been stuck in a dryer?
A dryer?
I always look people's up Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Chris probably has young kids that said, Dad, I'll give you $5 if you can get out of that thing.
Whenever we have an applicant, I always bring up their Facebook, and you get some pretty cool stuff going on your Facebook. So
I'd recommend going there. It's really cool.
Yeah? I don't know what it is, but I don't think I can get out of that. So anytime that Mr. Kamalu puts somebody in front of us after their rigorous interview panels, plural, there's a good chance that they've done their due diligence, checked into things, done your background check, and you've passed muster. So I don't generally second guess unless there was something maybe odd that might come up on a Facebook page. I definitely feel that you passed the muster, and I'm Brendan, by the way, and congratulations and welcome to the town.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you.
The Select Board also talked about the upcoming special town meeting.
Come on.
Yeah, through the chair, this is purely an administrative update. Just want to remind the public that the special town meeting warrant closes November 21. To date, we have received the following articles. Number one, there is a citizen petition regarding the Main Street Corridor project with two components. One, rescinding Article 47 vote from 2018. Second piece is a request that town meeting direct the select board to cease all work relating to the Main Street Corridor project. The second petition is the one that the board just discussed. This is in relation to Legacy Farms North Road. We have also received 4 articles from the school department. The first is requesting a sum of money to complete the feasibility, schematic design, engineering, and related services for the renovation, alteration, and associated improvements at the Hopkinton High School. The second article is requesting funding for the construction, reconstruction, renovation, alteration, and associated improvements of the Hopkinton High School. In other words, design, provide the documents that are required for the construction, and if approved, then move forward to the construction. And then third is a request for a sum of money for the engineering, design, construction, reconstruction, renovation, or alteration and associated improvements related to the purchase and installation of modular classrooms at the Elmwood School. And then the fourth article also is a sum of money for the engineering, design, construction, reconstruction, renovation, or alteration and associated improvements related to the purchase and installation of modular classrooms at the Hopkins School. So those are the 4 articles from this school department. And again, the warrant is open until November 21.
As part of the physical education program, Hopkinton Middle School students trained to run a 5K, and this past week they completed a 5K. Here's a look. Hopkinton Middle School hosted a 5K as part of their physical education. The cold weather did not stop many from participating and completing the course. So first off, what are your names?
My name is Prisha. I'm Agnes.
I'm Brian.
All right, and you all ran today?
Yeah.
How'd you enjoy the run?
It was fun. It was fun. I ran with all my friends. So.
Good race.
Terrific. So was this your first 5K?
Yes.
Nope.
This is my 3rd.
This is my 5th, I think.
All right. How was it running your first 5K for those of you that just ran your first today?
I mean, it was pretty fun. It was also tiring, but it was fun.
And over here, how'd you like the course, and how does it compare to other 5Ks you ran?
I like the course. The loops, I think, like just seeing the same thing over and over again sometimes is a little annoying, but I still really like the course.
All right, terrific. And what was your times?
I don't know.
Something like 24 minutes.
24 minutes. All right. Well, congratulations. All right. So a bunch of people running a 5K today. Can you explain what this was all about?
Yeah. So in the 8th grade phys ed program, we have an elective program, and the students get to choose what they do. And this first trimester is all about performance. And we have 130 students running today. Their choice for their PE electives was 5K training. So this entire trimester, they've been following a training program and building up their mileage and their endurance and putting all that in the tank. And so today was their performance, which was their 5K.
Terrific. And how did everything go out there?
Everything went great. We had close to 30 parent volunteers, which was amazing. We had Mrs. Whalen, Steph Whalen, who always does a fantastic job coordinating the volunteers. Hopkinton PD was out there. We had our technology department out there filming. We had HCAM out there. The kids did a tremendous job today. They all worked really hard for this, so it was great.
All right, excellent. And how long did they train to do this?
They've been training since the second week of September. They're about 9 weeks in or 10 weeks in now, so into the training for it. So it's been great.
All right, awesome. And the student response was good?
Yeah, it was great. They all you could feel the energy in the building this morning as it was a crescendo up to the race. So that was fantastic. That was awesome.
Coming up next, scenes from the South Asian Circle of Hopkinton Diwali Gala, plus the Veterans Day services, and Matt Clark has our HCAM Insider. A whole lot more ahead. Stay tuned.
HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
Welcome back to HCAM News. The American Legion Post 202 hosted the annual Veterans Day ceremony at the Senior Center. Here's a look. The American Legion Post 202 hosted the annual Hopkinton Veterans Day ceremony at the Senior Center.
In Flanders Field is a poem written during the First World War by a Canadian physician, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. First published in December of 1915, the readers became inspired and touched. Its verses became universally memorialized, and school children throughout the United States would recite this poem every Veterans Day. In keeping with tradition, Kiki Fossbender, a sophomore at Hopkinton High School, will do the honors this morning.
In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, that lurk still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from falling hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep through poppies blow in Flanders Fields.
Pastor Rob Davis talked about his experiences in the military in South Africa.
That was one of my trials, but really the last trial was the worst in the military for me. Our unit was assigned to a suburb of Johannesburg called Soweto, and Soweto was probably had 1 million people, all black folks in segregated South Africa, and they were rioting. And typically what would happen is the military, the South African military, was very well equipped, and the uprising of blacks was very unsophisticated. And so teenagers, like 14-year-olds, they would make Molotov cocktails, which would be a petrol bomb, you know, with a rag and a glass bottle, and they would just throw it and create havoc and set buildings on fire and whatever not. But when it was overwhelming, the police couldn't handle it, they'd call us in. But here's the problem. When we were called in, we would open up with machine guns and just start firing and just killing, just randomly. And these 14-year-olds would be running like crazy and just mow them down. And I said, I am not willing to do that. Now, I don't know what kind of a unit you've been in, but in my situation, my officer in charge of the armored car that we were in, if I refused to shoot, he had the authority to shoot me. And he probably would have, because there was a lot of tension about people that were for or against the government. And I wasn't like for this idea.
David Melly from Representative Carolyn Dykema's office spoke at the ceremony.
I grew up in Newton, down the road, and actually both of my grandfathers are from Boston. Both of them served in the Air Force. They did not know each other, but they were both in the Air Force. And my mother's father grew up in Roslindale. He was the son of Italian immigrants, and he joined the Air Force when he was, I think, 18 years old. He was down at Falmouth in Otis Air Force Base. My mother was born at Falmouth Hospital because he was serving down there, and my grandmother was down there with him. And about 2-3 years into his service, he was on an aircraft working as a radar technician when the aircraft went down over the Atlantic Ocean. And there were 19 men aboard the aircraft, and he was one of only 3 survivors.
Hopkinton veteran Ted Hoyt also shared some of his experiences.
Technically, I spent 23 years in the Army. The last 10 was really my name on a list, so I can't really count that. I do have a lot of military in my family. My dad was Maritime Academy Naval Reserve. My younger brother retired after 23 years as a Navy SEAL. My cousin/brother retired as a Master Chief from the Air Force after 27 years. Your mission is not done. My kids don't listen to me, but they might listen to you. And it makes it our collective mission to pass the torch, to teach them what it means to be brave and free. So please, your mission is not done until the last full measure. Teach them by your presence and bearing. But if you have the opportunity, try to talk to them, to those grandkids, to those great-grandkids, to the random ragamuffins that you might see in meetings like this, and teach them the ideals of why we were willing to fight and die. Continue the mission. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
The South Asian Circle of Hopkinton hosted their annual Diwali Gala, and it was a packed house at the Hopkinton Center for the Arts. Here's a look at some of the festivities. The South Asian Circle of Hopkinton hosted their annual Diwali Gala. Diwali is the 5-day festival of lights celebrated by millions of people across the world. Here is a look at the tremendous performances.
Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the heart has where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls.
Where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection,
where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit,
where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action,
into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
What you may not know is the sticks are really meant to be swords. The stick represents the sword of the Hindu goddess of power and strength. Hence the dance form is also known as the sword dance. Let's celebrate the victory of good over evil, as well as celebrate our culture in its togetherness in the Dandiya Ras.
A whole lot of programming is coming up on the HCAM channels. Standing by to tell you all about it is Matt Clark with our HCAM Insider.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the HCAM Insider. I'm Matt Clark, and I'm here to tell you what's happening this week on HCAM. On Friday, November 22nd at 5 p.m., local singer and songwriter Kate Frasinelli performs her intimate music of love, joy, and heartbreak on a new episode of Wake Up and Smell the Poetry. On Saturday, November 23rd at 8 a.m., tune in for some classic cartoon shenanigans on a new episode of Toontime. On Monday, November 25th at 7 p.m., the Hopkinton Planning Board meeting will air live on HCAM TV. On Tuesday, November 26th at 7 p.m., Arthur Bergeron gives a presentation on elder law and getting the care you need on a new HCAM TV special. On Wednesday, November 27th at 6 p.m., Tom Nappy takes a look at this year's Diwali Gala on a new edition of HCAM News Focus. And at 7 p.m., Arthur Bergeron talks with Hopkinton public health officials on getting access to health care on a new episode of Frank and Mary in Hopkinton. On Thursday, November 28th at 7 p.m., the Hillers girls classic football game will air on HCAM Ed. And also on HCAM Ed, the Hillers volleyball finals versus Needham game will air. If you want to know more about all of HCAM's shows before they air, then head over to hcam.tv/newsletters, where you can sign up for our HCAM Insider newsletter. Or if you want to know more about what's happening in Hopkinton, you can sign up for our daily news updates. That's all for this week's Insider. I'm Matt Clark, and as always, thanks for watching. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Matt. That will just about do it for this edition of HCAM News. Don't forget you can stay up to date with everything Hopkinton by checking out our website, hcam.tv, as well as our Twitter and Facebook page. Be sure to head over to our website for the latest happenings in our community and check out the Hopkinton Community Calendar to take a look at upcoming events in town. If you have a Hopkinton-related video, photo, or story idea, I want to hear from you. Email me at news@hcam.tv. With your help, we'll cover even more of our community. For everyone here at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. We leave you now with the current community listings and upcoming government meetings. As always, thanks for watching HCAM News. Take care, everyone.